case is a term that I don't really like because it brings the connotation that nobody's paying attention to it. It's never cold in that sense. It's just unsolved. Darlene Krashock's body, when I first saw it, looked so cold and so alone.
The body was nude. Her jeans were on one of her ankles.
Not only was she beaten, she was sexually assaulted.
It was very violent, very brutal actions by the suspect.
The way she was treated and killed, you knew you had a monster on your hands.
When you're on call for homicide, the general line of communication is with the sergeant on scene. And I appreciated his dedication. He really wanted to do right by the victim. That sergeant happened to be Joe Kenda.
Well, my. I've seen many things, not many this extreme. She's active duty Army. We, of course, considered that the killer is probably military. We take blood, we take hair, we are at a dead end. The most important part of homicide investigation is to never, ever give up.
Homicide Hunter, Never Give Up, Wednesday, August 17th at 9 on ID.
Me with the guest that you were able to get us to talk to today. So tell me about today's guest.
Wow. I mean, I never give up, and either does our guest, Lieutenant Joe Kenda. He has an amazing special coming out on August 17th, Homicide Hunter, Never Give Up. A lot of such interesting behind-the-scenes investigative work on how DNA is changing the landscape of just criminal investigation and getting those people where they need to be, caged. And I got to say, oh, my. We have Joe Kenda here. I am so excited. He is the star of Investigation Discovery's hit show, Homicide Hunter. He has a special out August 17th, as I said, and I'm kind of fangirling right now, if you will.
Well, and I get to geek out over DNA, so this is going to be an incredible conversation.
There we go, the geeking out.
Familial DNA, all of it. It's going to be great. So, Joe...
And I love true crime, and you know I've always wanted to do a true crime podcast, so maybe Joe wants to do one with us.
This will be your inspiration.
Yeah.
You're never going to quit. You're never going to give up.
Never giving up.
That's
oh, gosh.
Right.
Where is he? Where is he?
He's right here. Joe,
Yay.
welcome.
Yes. Hello, how are you?
We're kind of good. We're kind of really good.
Okay.
Tell us why you, I mean, okay, your solve rate, and I probably am going to use all the wrong terms, but you have solved 92% of the murder cases that you have come into contact. That's probably increased, you know, because you never give up, meaning you keep doing what you're doing, even though you're a megastar now. On
well, that's debatable, I suppose, but yeah, my solve rate is a function of the fact that I truly, I'm not smarter than everybody else. I'm more determined. I'm like a dog with a bone. You kill one of my taxpayers, I take it personally. And I want to resolve those, and I am devastated when I don't. I had 387 homicide investigations that I conducted. I cleared 356 of them by arrest. 31 remain unsolved. If I was a football team, 356 and 31, that'd be a dynasty. As it is, I'm just a dumb guy that doesn't know who killed 31 people. It all depends on how you look at it. Now, some of the advances in DNA have resulted in the resolution of 3 of those 31. So now I'm down to 28. I'd like to get down to 0, but that's unrealistic.
Yeah. Well, chain of command, custody of the actual evidence, all sorts of things can get in the way of you being able to solve a case. So let's talk about what's happening now. You are getting ready for an incredible feature that's coming up this summer. So can you talk to us about that?
Sure. It's about a case that occurred on St. Patrick's Day, 1987. A young girl was brutally murdered, raped, and left next to a dumpster in an alley in the snow. dumped at that location. One of the most brutal killings I've seen, and I've seen many killings. She had post-mortem human bite marks. It's incredible. You think you're looking for
after
Dracula.
She died? After
Correct.
she died, she got bit.
Yes.
Wow.
All over her body.
Wow.
It's a very bizarre thing. So we work this case like dogs for months. We get nowhere. She's in a bar on St. Patrick's Day with well over 100 people. People remember her dancing with a guy once. They describe him. It matches the description of half the men in North America. No one knows his name. No one knows anything about him. They only remember seeing her dance with him on one occasion. The next time she's seen, she's laying dead and raped in an alley behind the bar. So somehow, some way, someone gets their hands on her and does this to her. Could it be the one she's dancing with? Sure. Could it be somebody else? You have your pick of over 100 people. Most of the audience in there are males. So it's a very problem. The most difficult case to solve anywhere in the United States is a stranger killing, where the suspect has no relationship with the victim. They only represent 2 to 5% of murder cases. The others, the 90+%, are people that have a relationship. It could be financial, it could be romantic, it could even be criminal, part of a criminal enterprise. But a motive rises from the relationship. They make somebody mad enough to want to kill them. The stranger killing is a passing ship in the night who sees an opportunity to take a victim. It's very, very difficult. You have nowhere to begin. You have no one to talk to that has any knowledge of the event. During this process of working this case, a year before that case occurred in 1986, we got a letter, every agency in Colorado did, from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, which is the state laboratory system. The letter said, there's this guy in England, he's a doctor, a research doctor at a university, and he's working on the possibility of using DNA profiling as a way to uniquely identify suspects and or individuals in any sort of case. We don't know if it's going to work, but it shows promise. So we would therefore recommend that you preserve your evidence of body fluids from a perpetrator, blood, seminal fluid, semen, whatever you can come up with from the perpetrator. Do it in the following manner, and it could be examined decades from today. However, the manner in which they described was not only complicated, it was expensive. And the minute you say expensive, law enforcement agencies tend to hit the brakes. We have to compete for the tax dollar. Boy, I don't know, it's a lot of money. And I argued that, well, okay, it's expensive. Yes, it is. However, it may mean something. It could even mean everything. And maybe it comes to nothing, but at least we will have the opportunity if it comes to something. So we started doing that. It's so complicated. You have to freeze the samples in liquid nitrogen. It is a complicated affair, and you need specialized equipment and so on and so on. But we did it anyway. Fast forward 33 years.